All right, so let's start Unit 8, Test Review Part 2. I had to stop part of the way. It was getting kind of long anyway. So let's try to get through some rectangles, some rhombi, squares, some trapezoids, and maybe we'll talk about some kites. We'll see. I don't know if I'll keep kites in because of some issues with changes. Okay, so some things we should know about rectangles. Let's see here. If they tell me AD is 9, then of course BC would be 9. AC is 22, so this whole thing right here is 22. That means this whole thing here is 22 because, again, diagonals are congruent. So let's see, that would be BD. And then, okay, I'm going to try to get through this. Let's see here. So then let's see here. Oh, and that's all they tell me. So what else can I do? How do I find AB? How do I find, like, EC? Obviously, if you go back and look at your properties, not diagonals are congruent, yes, but at the same time, they also bisect each other. Remember, whatever properties a parallelogram has, it also applies to a rectangle has all those properties that a parallelogram has. So if I'm saying a rectangle, I can also still say the diagonals bisect. If I know that AC is AC is 22, then I know this right here is 11, and so is this. So EC is 11. So the last one is, how do I find, like, say, AB? Well, think about this. If this is 22 and this is 9, then you could actually say, like, use that to help you find, or actually I could have gone the other way. This is 22 and this is 9. That's a 90-degree angle. And so I could use the Pythagorean theorem and say 22 squared minus 9 squared, take the square root of that. Because remember, when you have the diagonal, you're going to subtract those two and then find your answer. Okay, when you type that in there and get that answer, you should get 20.1, and that covers your size. So again, most of that should not be too hard. Hopefully you get mostly easy stuff. Okay, so now let's look at this. This one that tells me BCA 66 degrees. So BCA, this right here, is going to be 66 degrees. Now remember, every corner is 90 degrees. So if I subtract 90 minus 66, I get 24 degrees, so that's 24. And then with these, it's 66, 24, 24, 66, 66, 24, like that. Like it works just like that. So let's see here. ADC, that's a corner. So that's the whole corner, that's 90. BAC, that's this one right here, that's 24. CDB, that's also 24. AEB. Okay, so then how do I find AEB? Let me erase this a little bit so y'all can see. But if this is 24 and this is 24, and I want this angle right here, AEB, well then I can add 24 and 24 and get 48 and say 180, because there's a triangle right here, 180 minus 48, and get 132 degrees. Put a little degree symbol there, and I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there you go. All right, so that's one type of problem you could get. Here's another one. Let's see here. PR, that's this one, is 9x plus 1. QS, that's this one right here, is 13x minus 11. Again, what do you know? Diagonals are congruent. So 13x minus 11 is equal to 9x plus 1. Variables left, numbers to the right. I get 4x is equal to 12. And so x is equal to 3. Okay, so again, like I said, for y'all, for my CPs, I would probably say that's it. For my pre-APs, well, let's find out what TR is. TR? Okay. So I would plug that back in. PR, 3 times 9. So 9 times 3 plus 1, that's 28. That's the whole thing. That's this whole thing. This is half of that. So divide that by 2, and you get 14 for TR. Okay? Let's look at number 21. It's a rectangle. They tell you that DEG So this angle right here is 4x minus 5. FEG, FEG, this angle here is that. Okay, so what do you know? The corner is 90. That means those both together. So I would add those two together and get 10x minus 26. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this wrong. I was like going, wait a second, hold a second, let me check something here. Oops, let's start off again. Okay, so DEG is this one right here. FGE is this one right here. Those are opposite, so that means they're equal. And guys, more than likely than not, if you have to take a guess, they're probably going to be equal. You'll probably be more right than you're wrong. Okay, so variables to the left, numbers to the right would give me 2x is equal to 16. So x is equal to 8. Okay, now they want you to find DGE. DGE. Really? DGE? So this one right here. Okay. So think about it this way. If I put this 8 in, say, this one, 4 times 8 is 32, minus 5 is 27. If this is 27, so is this one. So if you subtract from 90 minus 27, you would get 63 degrees. So this right here would be 63 degrees. That's what that would do. Again, probably harder than what I would do on the test. So now let's look at angles here and kind of figure some things out. So keep in mind, JK, like on a rhombus, these are the diagonals bisect. So if this is 36 degrees, so is this. And that means this is 36 and this is 36. Don't forget the internal angles are 90 degrees. That's a horrible looking 90, but you get the idea. Okay? And then how do you find like the other? Well, if this is 90, then you could say 90 plus 36 is 126, subtract from 180, and you would get, say, 54. Okay? So then this should be 54, this should be 54, and so on. Okay? Give me 1 second. Okay, 54, 54. Okay, so now JKL. JKL is all that, so 36 and 36 would be 72. MLK. MLK. 54 and 54. That's 108. So you see how I'm putting those together. JMK. JMK. That's this one right here. JMK. That's 36. MJL. MJL. That's this one right here. That's 54 degrees. And then KNL, that's in the middle. Any of them that turn in the middle are 90 degrees. Okay, so make sure you can find some simple ones. I'm not going to make it too hard, but you kind of get the idea. All right, so using the same thing from the previous equation, they want to tell you that MN is 20 and JL is 26, and they want you to find JK. Of course, because, you know, just kidding. Had to. You know I had to. Okay, so that's 20, that's 20. Remember that they're equal. If this is 26, that means this is 13. So I could do 20 squared plus 13 squared, because I need this diagonal, the 90 degrees. And then if I plug that in and take the square root, I should get approximately 23.9. So JK should be 23.9. Okay. Let's see here. STU is a rhombus. Okay, so what do you know about these two? They should be equal to each other. So let's set them equal. 9x minus 43 is equal to 5x plus 1. That variables to the left, numbers to the right. 4x is equal to 44. So x is equal to 11. And again, for CPs, that's probably where you would be done. Find SVU. Because, you know, sure, why not? Remember, this angle and this angle are going to be the same, and these are also equal. So if I put the 11 here, say 5 times 11 plus 1 is 56, and this is 56, and add those together, you get 112 degrees. So your thing should be 112 degrees for SVU. All right. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C. Easiest. 1, 2, 3. Anyways. ABCD is a rhombus. AD is 4x plus 2. So 4x plus 2. DC is 7x minus 13. Okay. BD, because why not, is 34. Find AE. Okay, sure. All right. How would I probably do this question for you? First off, you need to realize, again, this is a rhombus. All sides are equal. So I would probably set this up saying 7x minus 13 is equal to 4x plus 2. Variables to the left, numbers to the right would give me 3x equals 15. And then you would have x equals 5. Okay, so if you know x equals 5, then you could easily, quickly, I'm going to erase this and say 5 times 2, this would be 22. Okay, so this right here is 22. All of those sides are 22. And if you cut this, you'd have 17. Because remember, they bisect. So if you have that 17, then, and you've got basically, this is 17. You want, like, say, a missing side like this, 90 degrees. 22 squared minus 17 squared is equal to about 195. So take the square root of that. You should get something like 13.99 or 13.98. Ends up being about 14. Okay? Close to it. So we'll say 14. Anyways, let's move on. Gonna have to make sure I feed Batman in a minute because Batman's starting to give me a look, but I will try to finish this problem before he gets it. He can wait a second. Alright, you can wait. I told you. Wait. Alright, so let's see here. This is a square, so remember, all corners are 90 degrees. These are cut equally, so that means each of these are also 45, 45. And don't forget the inside angles are also 90. Okay, so WXY. WXY is a corner. 90 degrees. Okay, let's see here. XZY. XZY is this right here. That's 45. This on a square, you don't even like that. That's all the case. Like all these are going to be 45, 45, 45, 45, 90s and 90s in the middle. YXZ. YXZ is this one right here. So that also is 45. Okay, WRZ is this one right here. That is 90 degrees. And then XWY, that would be 45 degrees. So again, fairly simple. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so now if you look at number 27, I'm just going to do it here because I don't have room to take another picture. It tells you that, so for number 27, so now I'm doing 27. Okay, number 27, it says WY is 32. So WY is 32, and then find XY. Okay, so find this one. Probably a little bit harder than what I would do, but it's something that we can work with. Look, keep in mind that, like on something like this, this is a right triangle. That was horribly drawn. And this is a right triangle. Again, horribly drawn. So if I know this thing, this right here is 32, then I know this is 16. And if this is 16, this is 16. And I can use the Pythagorean theorem to find that. So 16 squared plus 16 squared. And then take the square root of that. And you should get about 22.6 for that answer. So there you go. Okay, and that should help that. Some simple trapezoid properties, don't forget, these would add up to 180. So if I say 180 minus 41, I would get, because these are not isosceles. This does not say they're isosceles. 180 minus 41 would give me 129. I'm sorry, 139. I was off by a little bit. Okay, if I subtract, for this one also 180, so if I say 180 minus 104, I get 76, and that's how you can find those degrees fairly easily. Okay, I probably wouldn't do anything too different. On this one, they are telling you, oh, they're only giving you one, and this is an isosceles trapezoid. That means these two are the same. So 117. This would subtract from 180. So if I say 180 minus 117 and get, say, 63, This would be 63, and so would this. Again, fairly easy peasy type of thing, right? Not a problem. Try to finish this up with some of these and not make it too long, hopefully. Maybe I'll talk about mid-segment in a minute, like 37 or 38, but not how they did it. I would probably do it on the test. Anyways, the main thing here, guys, you got to recognize when do you add them up to equal 180, or when are they going to be set equal to each other. If you do not see these little congruency marks here, like this right here, when you see the parallel marks, that's like saying top and bottom, okay? The bigger and smaller, okay? So these add up to 180. So here I would add those up and say 13 at 8 plus 5 is 13. 26 minus 2 is 24. Set that equal to 180, subtract and solve. You should get x equals 12. Okay. When you do that, now obviously this one says find angle h, so I could say 12 times 8 is 96 minus 2 and get like put the 12 here, and that would give me 94 degrees. But again, CP, I would probably give you that. If you see something like this where they're next to each other, again, this is top, this is bottom. 8x minus 23 equals 6x plus 11. That would give you 2x is equal to 34. Divide and you get x equals 17. Okay, so again, that's probably where I would start that. Definitely would not make you go, okay, like I've got to do 17 times 8. Hold up, let me see what that is. 17 times 8 minus 23, get 113, and then still subtract from 180 to get 67. I'm not going to do something like that. And again, notice here, like this one right here, top, bottom type of thing, add 15x. That's probably what I would do. Minus 15 equals 180. And thus you would have, let's see here, add 15, divide, you get 195, and you should get x equals 13. Okay, find angle G. Okay, if you put 13 in there, you get 143 minus 8, and you should get like 135. So again, this is 135 degrees. That's probably as far as I would go with that. If I was looking at diagonals, W, Y, X, Z, those should be equal. So notice, like I said, most of these, you get them equal to each other, you should be fine. And so in this case, like here, I would end up with, say, 6x equals 12. So x equals 2. Find WY, so I could put 2 in there. Say 15 times 2 minus 2, and that would give me 28. Okay? You kind of see the idea. Okay, last thing I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to put kites on the test because, well, it's just a long test as it is. Mid-segment. Okay, so keep in mind, I told y'all, like, if you have something like this, well, actually, let me redo that. Let me do something like this. Okay, they're not equal, but, you know, this is a mid-segment. This would be equal, this would be equal, and if I say A, B, C, D, E, F, EF is equal to 1/2 of AB plus CD, or DC, okay? Or I could say 2 times EF is equal to AB plus DC. Okay, what does that mean? That means, like, if I gave you, let's say, 14 and, say, 32. Okay, you got top and bottom. That means you would do this one and say add those two. That would be 14 plus 32 is 46. Divide by 2, and that would give you 23. Okay, so all I did there was I added, then divided by 2. If I gave you something like this, where I said, let's say that was 30, and this was, I'm going to say 42. I'm making stuff up, okay? Realize I'm not always drawing to scale. Okay, if that's the case, they give you the middle, you need to multiply by 2, so that would be 2 times 30 is 60, and then subtract the 42, you got 18, and this would be 18. Okay, so that covers that. All right, this is getting pretty long. I'm going to stop there. I will give y'all a bonus word. Let me see. What would my bonus word be? Well, since both of my pets had decided to step in, how about the bonus word is pets? Put that on your test at the top, and I'll add some extra points. All right? Thank you for listening. Y'all take care. Good luck on the test. I know y'all are going to do great.